Hola amigos, esta noche vamos a hablar de los verbos de cambio radical o los verbos con cambios en la raíz. Okay, tonight we're going to talk about boot verbs or stem changing verbs. So, as usual, have a piece of paper handy to do the exercises in the presentation and just follow along. So remember, if you'll recall, there are three main stem changes. I could add a fourth with jugar, but the three main ones that we see generally are E to IE, O to UE, and E to I. And once again, with jugar, we have a special case where we go from U to UE. Oh, oops, sorry guys, I hadn't started the slideshow. Here we go. Okay, ¿qué es un verbo de cambio radical? A stem changing verb is a verb whose root or stem, that's the part that's not without the ending. So when you take off the ER, or IR on the end of the verb, changes when conjugated in a given tense. In this case, we're going to look at stem changes in the present tense only. The change only happens with the yo, tú, él, ella, usted, ellos, ellas, and ustedes forms. Nosotros and vosotros do not receive any stem change. So, here's an example. Here are a couple of examples. Empezar, which goes empiezo, empiezas, empieza, empezamos, no stem change. Empezáis, no stem change. Empieza. O sea, poder, puedo, puedes, puede, etc. If you'll recall, empezar means to begin, and poder means, why don't you write it down? Because you should know. If you don't, something you're going to want to review. Stem changes are also called boot verbs, and here's why. Okay, if we line up the conjugations 3 and 3, basically everything inside the boot has a stem change, and everything outside doesn't. Here's empezar. Aquí tienes un verbo o, ue. Okay, so here's an o to ue verb. Okay, cuento, cuentas, cuenta, contamos, contáis, cuenta. Okay, notice that inside the boot we have the stem change, outside the boot no stem change. Estos son los significados, the meanings, de los verbos con cambio de raíz más comunes. Remember how I mentioned to you already that I am going to require you to learn the most common verbs, the 1,000 most common words in the Spanish language. These are the ones you need to know with stem changes. Comenzar, to start, to begin. Empezar, also to start or to begin. Preferir, to prefer. Querer, to want, to love. Again, these are E to IE stem changes. Perder, to lose. Despertarse, to wake up. Pensar, to think. And again, just a reminder, I'm sorry, that these are stem changing verbs. They change inside the boot. So here are 3 examples again. Pensar, querer, and preferir. Okay, here are the most common O to UE stem changing verbs. Okay. Jugar, which I'm going to throw in here even though it's U to UE for reasons we mentioned earlier. Encontrar, to find. Volver, to return. Devolver, which means to return an object, like to return a book to the library, for example. Poder, to be able to or can. Hopefully you got that right earlier when I asked you to jot it down. Dormir, to sleep. Contar, to count or tell a story. That can mean to count is in the sense of like uno, dos, tres, cuatro, etc., or it can be to recount or tell a story. Llover, to rain. Mostrar, to show, which there's a synonym, mostrar. See if you can figure it out. Starts with an E. It's not a stem changing verb. Recordar, to remember. All very common verbs used a lot in Spanish. So at this point, I would like you to fill out this chart. You can just jot down the answers either on the printout of the PowerPoint if you'd like, or you can fill them out on a piece of paper, bring them to class. Here's the piece of paper you have next to you. Again, you can go ahead and pause to do this. I'm going to move on. Conjugaciones de los verbos o, ue, o, ue. here are 3 O to UE or U to UE stem changing verbs. I'd like you to fill out this chart as well. Again, you can do it on a separate sheet of paper, your homework sheet, or you can print out this PowerPoint and do it on the PowerPoint, whichever is better for you. Okay, I'm going to move on. Again, you can pause here to do this. Okay, unos ejemplos. Let's see if you guys can fill these in. Yo, what's the correct conjugation? Preferir. Real Madrid a Barcelona. El juego, game, and ellos. Now remember that querer is a special case, as is preferir. Anytime we talk about what we want, prefer, etc., we can always put an infinitive after it. So in here we have jugar. You can do that with empezar as well, by the way, but you have to put a after empezar. Entonces, empieza a jugar. He's starting to play. Okay. Again, if you needed to pause there to finish that up, that's fine. Here are 3 more examples I'd like you to try. These are O to UE or U to UE stem changers. So give these a try. Again, bring your answers to class with you tomorrow. I will be checking your homework. This is an E to I stem changing verb. This is the last category. Pedir. Hopefully you remember what pedir was. Go ahead and jot that down if you remember. If not, you're going to have to look it up. I'm not going to tell you. You should know though. And notice the stem change. Yo pido. There's the E to I stem change. Tú pides. Él, ella, usted pide. Good thing to repeat after me. Nosotros pedimos. Vosotros pedís. Ellos, ellas, ustedes piden. Okay? Los verbos y sus significados. So here are the E to I stem changing verbs that are the most common and that I would like you to learn. All of these have the exact same stem change, and I give you their meanings here. Competir, to compete. Elegir, to choose or elect, can mean either one, like elect a president, for example. Seguir, just to follow, can also mean to keep doing something when you put an infinitive after it. Seguir jugando básquetbol, seguir viendo la tele. Conseguir is a tricky one, but for most people, just means to get or obtain. Pedir. Now, be careful. Pedir always has the for in it. You don't need to say pedir por. That's a common error. Preferir, to prefer. Repetir, and again, the second E is the one that's going to change. So in preferir, it's after the F, and repetir after the P. Sentir, servir. It's always the E just before the ending that changes. So I'd like you to try a few here. I threw an impedir in here. It wasn't one of the ones on the list, but maybe you can figure out what it is. It's a lot like an English word. That's kind of a highfalutin English word, but see if you can conjugate these 4 verbs using the chart. Yeah, and yes, do try the vosotros form. Again, you can do this on a separate sheet of paper, on your sheet of paper, bring it to class, or you can print this out, or, well, that's about it. Fotos, dibujos, completa las oraciones con el mejor verbo según la foto o el dibujo. This is where you might want to have a window open with the PowerPoint on the side so that you can use the list of verbs to choose the best verb for each picture. So you're going to look at a picture, you're going to finish the sentence based on what you see. Los pajaritos, okay, choose the right verb, conjugate it correctly using los pajaritos. Que, and then the que, the waitress speaking. So she asks, "What? Would you all do something?" And then she's gonna say, "What am I going to what?" El sumo y su amiguito. ¿Qué color eliges? It's an open question, so you can go ahead and answer it. And again, you can pause at any point if you need to slow this down. Go back. Feel free. Color eliges. Bart. Ay, ay, ay. Y va a tener que Careful after tener que think. What do we use? Rafa gana otra vez y not kiss that I'm looking for. More like, yeah. Okay, that's it. Eso fue todo. Muchas gracias. Nos vemos mañana. Don't forget to bring your work to class tomorrow. I will want to see it and we'll go over it. Gracias por su atención y hasta mañana.